Assalamu alaikum, my dear student. How are you all? I am fine by the grace of Allah. You also fine by the grace of Allah. I, Mizanur Rahman, Milestone College. I am your biggest teacher. Today I am going to start a new class with you. Are you ready? Yes, my dear. Before going to start, I want to ask question from previous lesson. Are you ready? Yes. Can I ask question? Yes. Question number 1. Who was Mark Terry? Do you know the answer? Yes. Mark Terry or the BBC journalist. Right? Okay. Question number 2. Who was Ravi Shankar? Do you know? Yes, Indian famous artist. Now question number 3. What is refugee tax? Do you know? Yes, Indian government introduced new tax as refugee tax to meet the expenses of Bengali refugee camps. Yes, my dear. Now, I will start my today's class. Yes, today I will start chapter 2, lesson 9 and 10. Okay. What is the lesson number 9? Yes. Final war under the command of joint force. Yes, my dear. What was the final war under the command of joint force? You know, during liberation war, Bangladesh was divided in how many sectors? Do you know? Yes, how many sectors? 11 sectors. And at that time, which government was formed? Yes, Mujibnagar government, right? Mujibnagar government was formed which month? Month of April. So after the month of April, after the forming of Mujibnagar government, you know, liberation war was conducted sector-wise by Mujibnagar government. As a result, what has happened? Our freedom fighters could face the attacks of Pakistani force with the courage after forming the Mujibnagar government. From which month? Month of May 1971. After that, which force entered in Bengal? Do you know? Yes. Which force? Guerrilla force. Do you know about the guerrilla force? Yes. After the entering guerrilla force in Bengal, they started heavy attacks on the Pakistani force. And from that time, Pakistani force became defensive way because opposition party, opposition force, they're very strong. Then, you know, during the liberation war, India helped us. So, Indian force began to help freedom fighters in the war field. From which month? Yes, middle of November. Indian forces, they helped us from the middle of November. You know, on 13 November, 2 battalion of Indian soldiers built bases with the tanks at where? At Jashore. Why they established? Because beside the Jashore country, India. Okay, now Bangladesh and Indian government formed a joint command on which November? Yes, 21st November. Why they established joint command force? With a view to launching stronger attack upon Pakistani force, because without strong armed revolution, they will not go to their own country. I mean that West Pakistan. And what is Mitra Bahini? Do you know what is Mitra Bahini? Yes, Indian force that helped freedom fighters during liberation war were called Mitra Bahini. Again, I will tell the question answer. What is Mitra Bahini? Indian forces that helped freedom fighters during the liberation war were called Mitra Bahini? This question will come 1 mark. So you will memorize the answer of the question. What is Mitra Bahini? Now, Pakistan-India war broke out when? On December. Why? Because Pakistani Air Force, they attacked on different places of India on December. That's why Pakistan and India war broke out at this month. Then what happened after 3rd December? Do you know? Yes. Then an attack started in Bangladesh border. Why? Because from the border side, India and Joint Command Force, they attacked different places and they will come ultimately where? In Dhaka. That's why from the border side, Joint Command Force started attack. Air raid was also conducted side by side at different important places. Why? Because in the war field, in the two-way, if you attacked, so opposition soldiers will be day by day become defensive way. That's why from the border and the air raid also they attacked. What happened after that? You know, India recognized Bangladesh on which December? On 6th December. My dear, you will memorize the answer. It will come MCQ part. When did India recognize Bangladesh? On which date? 6th December. You know, Joint Force entered Joshore the next day when Joshore airport was occupied. When the border side, I mean the Joshore, from the Joshore, they entered. After next day, they occupied the Joshore airport. Then what happened? During the next 2 days, on 8 and 9 December, which district was liberated? Yes, which district? Kumilla, Brandbaria, Noakhali came under the control of Allied force. I mean that Mitra Bahini, right? You know, from that day or after that, right? 10 December, you know, in Dhaka, Hotel Intercontinental was declared as neutral zone, and all foreigners and diplomats living at Dhaka were given shelter there because this place was announced it is neutral zone. That's why foreigners and diplomats, they took shelter in this place, right, my dear? And the foreigners, those who are foreigners, they have sent own country by special air flight. Okay, my dear. And after that, 11 and 12 December, you know what happened? 11 and 12 December, you know, some districts were liberated. Like which district? Do you know? Yes, Mymensingh, Heli, Kustia, Khulna, Rangpur, Rajshahi, Dinajpur, Sirazganj were liberated. On which date? Yes, 11 to 12 December. Now we will learn about the last war of the Joint Force. What was the last war of Joint Force? Okay, my dear. Last war of Joint Force, what? Joint Forces conducted air raids over different military settlements at Dhaka. By air raids, Joint Force conducted on Dhaka when? Yes, 12 December. You know, Joint Force started to proceed towards where? Dhaka, from the wall direction, because they have target. You have to overtake to Dhaka, otherwise never we can liberate the country. That's why they started in Dhaka towards from different sides. You know, Pakistani forces started to surrender in different war fields on the border. You know, that time, you know, Dr. Malik resigned out. Why? of fear and took shelter at neutral zone. Where is neutral zone? Do you know? Yes, Dhaka Intercontinental. And Intercontinental along with his ministers, who's Dr. Malik. And 14 December, Pakistani forces surrender. 14 December, Pakistani forces surrender in almost all big towns and cantonments except Dhaka. The war Pakistani force ended that day. Dhaka city was then surrounded by joint force. From that time, Pakistani forces, they become defensive, and day by day they are going to surrender. Yes, after that, 16 December at the call of General Manekshaw, about the Manekshaw, that commander in chief of Allied Force, he was the chief of Allied Force. Okay, now lesson 10. Yes, my dear, what is the lesson 10? Yes, genocide and tortures. Already you have done this some part in previous lesson. This is the final part. Okay, what was genocide and when it was occurred? Do you know? Yes, my dear. When? On 25th March at night, right? Okay, actually at that night, what happened in Bangladesh? Okay, the occupation of Pakistani forces conducted mass killing mercilessly during the entire 9 months. Liberation war was held in Bangladesh. How many months? Yes, 9 months. During that time, actually Pakistani forces, what they were doing? Only one target, kill the people of East Pakistan. Right, my dear? And that was called genocide. And it was actually held 25th March at night. So they started killing the people of Bengalis from midnight of 25th March. They attacked where? The cantonment, EPR, police lines, Ansar, barracks, and they started to kill arrest the people. Why? Because without arresting the people, they will not conduct the war. That's why they arrest the people and kill the people. Okay, my dear, Bengali members from that night reside in different parts of Dhaka city, like where? Dhaka University, Buet, Tatai Bazar, and they continued genocide and set fire on houses, on the houses of the people. So that was the occupation of Pakistani forces, because during 9 months actually what they are going to happen. Yes, my dear, from that midnight they started arrest the people and kill the people, and they attack different places. Already I have told you, like EPR, police lines, Ansar, Barak, in etc. And also they, besides in different parts of Dhaka city, famous place of Dhaka city, Buet, right? And the Dhaka University. And they also, Tatai Bazar, they continued genocide and set fire to houses of the people. Okay, my dear. Now, what was the policy of Pakistani forces? Do you know what was the policy of Pakistani forces? Yes, kill at the first sight. Yes, it will come in MCQ part, one or question. Yes, kill at the first sight was the policy of Pakistani forces to Awami League leaders and workers. And another target was, do you know which people? Yes, the minority Hindu community, yes, was then the main victim of their mass killing. Yes, because that time in East Bengal, minority portion of the people were Hindus. That's why they have also target which people they will kill at first. Yes, Hindu peoples. And you know that these places in Hindu community people, what are they happening? Yes, the homes, houses, shops, etc. also villages of Hindu members were looted and set on fire. Because that time they tortured the people, and artists, intellectuals, people were the special target of Pakistani soldiers and their associates, because they know if we our East Pakistan devote to merit, what will it do? At first, you have to kill the people, those who are intellectual. Yes, my dear, that's why they killed the intellectual and escaped from the beginning till to end of liberation, or with a view to making the country barren and devoid of merit. Right, my dear? So, in this point, what we have learned? Yes, first point we have learned what was the first policy of Pakistani soldiers. Can you tell? Yes, kill at the first sight. When you will see the people, you have to kill. That was the policy of Pakistani forces. And they have another target, which people? Hindu community people. Because the Hindu community was minority people, and another target was of the Pakistani forces. Do you know which one is? Yes, intellectual people and artists. They also target the people. If we kill the people, what will be happen? Of course, the people of the country never think about the independent country. That's why they have to kill the people. Then they started the people, okay, my dear, and after that they think that if we kill the people, the country will be day by day devoid of merit. Right, my dear? And what happened after that? You know, inside the country, you know what happened? Yes, inside the country, people were seized, because many went to heading at that time. I mean that during 9 months, people are going to heading position, because when they will see the people, of course they will kill the people. That's why the people of the East Pakistan, day by day, they are going to heading position. Okay, my dear, during 9 months, because the Pakistani army, Razakar, Al-Badr, Al-Sham, the associate part of the Pakistani soldiers, and at that time, you know, around how many people compelled to leave the country? Do you know? Yes. How many people? 1 crore people compelled to leave the country. And where they will go? Yes. Where they will go? In India as a refugee. You know, that time 1 crore people compelled to leave the country, and they went away India as refugee camps. And what happened at the refugee camps? Do you know? Yes, that time in refugee camps, food were not available, because food were not available. Why? Because suddenly refugee camps was established, so it is very tough to conduct the people of like West Pakistan, East Pakistan people, because suddenly they went to India and they took shelter. So it is very tough to conduct the people. That's why, you know, some people have special demand, some people are children, and some people are older people. So these older people and the children, they were suffering various diseases and food crisis, and many people died in this situation. You know, misfortune also came down life in older people and the children. Why? Because that time there are no available facility for these people. And in the same manner, these people inside the country also, because victim mass killing Pakistani force with their collaborators. In the history, actually what is the biggest portion happened in Bangladesh? Genocide. Chuknagar, Dumaria. Where in this place? Yes, Khunla, Chuknagar, Dumaria. In this place, Pakistani soldiers, they started heavy attacks and they also arrest the people. Okay, my dear, that time West Pakistan party, the name of the West Pakistan party, do you know? Muslim League. And the inside the East Bengal, the party name is Jamaat Islami Leaders. Country of the country formed the combinedly Pakistani forces, Al-Badr, Rajakar, Al-Sham, etc. And who are the leaders of this party? Ali Hassan Mujahid, Kader Mullah, and Motiur Rahman Nizami, etc. And these people actually associate the West Pakistan leader. That time West Pakistan leader, they want to collect the people from the East Pakistan, those who are leader and who will support with us. That's why they collect the people, and also these people helped the West Pakistan leader. In different places they also genocide the people and looting, setting fire houses, Hat Bazar, etc. Okay, so Muslim League and Jamaat Islami, they also from the Rajakar Bahini, and in that situation Rajakar Bahini also helped the West Pakistan leader, and day by day in this situation day by day Pakistani leaders, I mean that East Pakistan leader, those who are Rajakar, they helped the West Pakistan leader. Okay, my dear, on 3rd December, what happened? On 3rd December, 1971, when the defeat of Pakistani force almost certain, on 3rd December, they understood that after few days we are going to defeat. So what can I do? They thought that because we are getting defeat, so we have to do something for the people of East Pakistan. Highest people to kill. That's why they made a plan to make Bangladesh barren of merit. Barren of merit or vacancy of merit. Okay. According to this plan, what they have done, they mercilessly killed the greatest son of the soil. Actually, what are the greatest people of that country? Do you know? Yes, those who are intellectual, those who are teachers, journalists, doctor, etc., musician. So at first they killed the people. Which people at first killed the people? Professor, doctor of Dhaka University, Dr. Govindra Chandra Dev. And after that they killed the people, Professor Munir Chowdhury. Then killed Professor Munir Chowdhury. Then Anwar Pasha, literature and journalist Shoidul Kaiser, journalist Najimuddin, Shirajuddin Hussain, writer Serena Parvin, literature Shohid Saber, Fadl Rabbi, Dr. Alim Chowdhury, and etc. These people, they killed the people because that people actually the greatest son of that East Bengal people. That's why every year we are observing who is that? Yes. Who is that? 14 December. We are celebrating Intellectual Martyrdom Day. Yes, my dear, actually these people killed by who is that? Yes, 10 to 14 December. That's why we are observing 14 December as this day. Okay, actually what happening after that this day? After the victory, the bodies of these valiant sons of nation were found in various places. Do you know which places? Including Rayer Bazar. Do you know? The Pakistani people, they kill the people and they send the people and throw the people different places like Rayer Bazar, and in their attempt to conduct this planned genocide, 10 to 14 December, Pakistani forces and their collaborators set up torture chambers in this country. What are the torture chambers? Do you know? Among the torture chambers, and mass graves, big ones, are located at where? Yes, Rayer Bazar, and at Dhaka, and Pahartali at Chittagong, Khalishpur at Khunla, Samsunnagar at Maulvi Bazar. In this place, actually, they send the people dead bodies. So, in this lesson, what we have learned in this para, on 3rd December is, 1971, when the defeat of Pakistani forces almost certain, when they understood that we are going to defeat, they made a plan to kill the people from where? East Pakistan. Those who are intellectual, teachers, journalists, doctors, musicians. So among them, which people they kill? Yes, which people? Professor Dhaka University, Dr. Govinda Chandra, and second person, Professor Munir Chaudhary, yes, Anwar Pasha, etc. And that people were killed 10 to 14 December. Yes, and that people, after killing the people dead body through different places. Okay, my dear, now next, the genocide continued in the entire country during how many months? Do you know? Yes. How many months? 9 months. Though the story is very cruel and frightening, we should have at least some idea about the nature of torture. What type of torture happened during Liberation War? Okay. Pakistani forces and their collaborators, they used to torture the captured person in different manners, and then they killed the people. Actually, what happening? It was a common incident to tie hands and legs and then shoot and throw the dead body in different places like river and water, etc. Besides, the captured person were shot down after this position, and the different parts of the body and the different portion of the body. Other cruel types of torture were to take out eyes. Do you know? Yes. To break the head into pieces by hitting, and to deform the face, to take out the head by using blunt and sharp knives, to pass the needle into fingers to lift the nail. Yes, my dear, the description of torture given by them is so frightening that it cannot be expressed in words. So, in this lesson, what we have learned? In the first lesson, we have learned final war under the command of Joint Force. From the month of May, the soldiers of East Pakistan, they started attack with inquiries, and month of June, guerrilla force entered in Bengal, and they also started heavy attacks on the Pakistani force, and day by day Pakistani force became defensive. After that came in East Pakistan. Yes, Indian force, they also began to help, and after that the people of the soldier of East Pakistan, they are going to divide a strong position. Yes, after that the people of the East Pakistan I mean that Bangladesh, and the Pakistani people of East Pakistan and Indian people, they formed Mitra Bahini or allied force. In this, when they join allied force, they are going to start heavy attack on Pakistani forces. And what happened? After 21st November, 21st November, with a view to launching the strong attack upon Pakistani forces, Indian forces helped freedom fighters in liberation are called Mitra Bahini. On 3rd December, Pakistani forces in air base, they attacked different places of the India. That's why Pakistan and India war broke out. And after that, what happened? 6 December, India recognized Bangladesh as an independent country. And after next day, 8 and 9 December, Kumilla, Brandbaria, Noakhali under the control of allied force. And 10 December, Hotel Intercontinental as a neutral zone. And at this place, foreigners, diplomats, they took the shelter in this place. And after 11 to 12 December, some districts of East Pakistan were liberated. Which district? Do you know? Yes. Mymensingh, Kustia, Khulna, Rangpur, Rajshahi, okay, etc. These are the today's lesson. Now, I want to ask some questions from this lesson. Are you ready? Yes. Question number 1. When did India recognize Bangladesh as an independent country? Do you know? Yes, my dear. Question number 1 answer is 6 December. Okay, my dear. Next question. What is Mitra Bahini? Do you know? Yes, Mitra Bahini, Indian forces that help freedom fighters during liberation war were called Mitra Bahini. Thank you. If any question, you can ask your subject teacher. Now I will give homework. Learn homework. Please write down your copy, your diary. Lesson number 9 and 10, it will be learned for you. This is learn homework. Okay, my dear, thank you everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.